we jump in, I want to just go over our agenda really quick. So we are going to start with some welcome and introductions. So welcome. We're going to go over some exciting Give Butter announcements and updates. Because I don't know if you know, but we are always up to something. We are always dropping great things. And I cannot wait to share all those different things with you today. We're going to go over some spring fundraising inspiration. And we're going to go over some top campaigns on Give Butter. We're going to dive deep into a live Q&A. And then we're going to end the session with some reminders. But first, we have a few housekeeping items. So use the Q&A to ask your questions. Remember, we have so many questions. One of my favorite things about Give Butter is that you guys talk back to me, okay? You're engaging, so make sure you're using the Q&A to ask your questions. Comment and use emojis in the chat. You know, I just said it, but I love engaging with you. I love knowing what you're talking about. I really love hearing, I'm seeing Sarah's ready, Mark's ready. That's what I like to see and hear. Please keep the chat respectful and kind. Obviously, we are one Give Butter community. Before sending a message in the chat, click the down bar and choose everyone, okay? Don't just communicate with us, although I do love when you just talk to me, okay? I'm exclusive, okay? But no, we are here for everyone, so make sure you're hitting the everyone button, okay? My colleagues, Stephen and Holly, are here, and they're going to be answering your questions in the Q&A. And then if you are already in the Facebook group, okay, if you are in the Give Butter Facebook fam, please chat, I'm in the general chat. I want to know who's in the Facebook chat. April McMillan is in the Facebook group. Angie's in the Facebook group. Ty is in the Facebook group. Jessica's in the Facebook group. If y'all ain't in, there's a lot of y'all on this call. Who else is in? Wendy's from the Facebook group. Come on, y'all. Well, the Facebook group is exactly where we are going to be diving deep this year, chatting with each other, sharing our wins and our challenges. So if you're not in the Facebook fam already, make sure you get on it, okay? If you don't know me, by the way, my name is Floyd Jones. I'm calling from Detroit, Michigan. Okay, y'all, so I just moved to Detroit. So fun fact, it is super cold. I'm not used to all this cold, but I always give you guys weather updates. And right now it is sunny over here and it's hard to come by in Michigan. It is sunny, so I am smiling, okay? I am the community and partnerships lead here at Give Butter. So if you see me online, if you see me on the webinar, if you see me in your email, that is why, because I am all here for all of you. And I love working with small organizations. I love hearing what's going on. I like working in the trenches with you guys. It's so exciting for me when I see some of your names here in the chat because I've been able to see your growth over time. And I believe that this is going to be a year of extraordinary growth for each and every one of you. And remember, when you win, we win, okay? Let's dive into some announcements and updates that we have. So there have been so many feature drops, okay? One of the things that we always talk about is what is fresh out of the oven, okay? So we have end of year reports. So one of the things that people have been asking about from the very beginning is how do we do more end of year reports for our donors? How do we make this process more seamless for our donors? Well, we have made that process so exciting and interesting and better for you all. And by the way, y'all, I want y'all to talk back to me, okay? If you like any of these feature drops, let me know. Let me see some fire emojis. Let me say you love it, okay? Talk back to me, all right? Revenue tracking for engaged messages. Okay, this is one thing that we've been adding so many different amazing features for Engage. One of my favorites is revenue tracking. So now you can actually send an email in Engage in the Give Butter platform, and you'll actually be able to see how many donations were attributed from that specific email. If that's not a game changer, y'all, I don't know what is, okay? Outbound text blasts. That has been a really big thing as well. So you can now send group SMS messages to your entire community all through Give Butter. And then, of course, we have our Venmo payment option on desktop. So all these different amazing things to take advantage of. Let me know, what has been your favorite recent drops, your favorite feature drop recently? Does anybody know? Anybody have a few favorites? Anybody have a few favorites? Shay is enjoying them. Brooke is enjoying them. I love it. I love it. Text messaging from Holly. I love it. Well, these are some and just so many more. So make sure you guys are checking out our change log, okay? So we have a special promotion that I want to go through over with you guys as well. So in case you guys didn't know, we are giving you all the ability to migrate recurring donations onto GiveButter. One thing that I've heard many people talk about is, excuse me, is how many recurring donations that they have on different platforms. And you don't want to disrupt the flow. You don't want to make things uncomfortable for your donors, but we are giving you the exclusive ability to migrate your existing recurring donors onto GiveButter. And guess what, y'all? 0 platform fees for life when you migrate them by March 31st, okay? So if you want to be able to bring over those recurring donors and not have any platform fees, make sure you do so by March 31st. This year is all about growth for us, and we want to hear from you. So in case you didn't know, we've gotten and come so far here at GiveButter because we've been able to listen and work directly with you all, and we want that process to continue. So if you're not familiar with our roadmap and our changelog, please make sure you go to givebutter.com, scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, and you'll see links to our roadmap so you can see what things are coming up, but you'll also see things, a link to our changelog where you can actually add your own feature requests, or you can upvote feature requests. But most importantly, you can share your feedback and share what these features mean to you. We're going to be the platform that evolves and grows with you, okay? And then with no further ado, I want to go share a few more upcoming features and integrations that we have coming up as well. So one amazing and a really exciting thing is Donor Search, okay? Donor Search, soon we'll be able to integrate directly with Donor Search, which is a platform that connects you with prospective donors who are also passionate about your cause. So many people ask us, how do we find more donors? How do we know what our donors' capacity is? Well, now we are giving you the exclusive ability on GiveButter to do just that. So if you're excited about that, make sure you get ready. Next is Hack Club Bank. So Hack Club Bank, our friends at Hack Club Bank offer fiscal sponsorship, 501c3 status, and other safe banking opportunities for nonprofits. So if you're a new nonprofit and you don't have your 501c3 status, but you're looking for someone to step in and help you with that process, Hack Club Bank will be your go-to resource. And we are getting ready to partner with them to make that an even more seamless process for all brand new nonprofits. And lastly, I want to just lightly tease Elements. So this is one of our biggest upcoming feature drops that we have ever made, and I'm so excited about it. I won't share too much, but all I'll say is that soon you'll be able to add a donation button or a bubble pop-up or even a form that syncs directly to any of your GiveButter campaigns right on your organization's website. So you've asked for it. You said, okay, how do we find more ways to engage and have people donate directly on our page? Well, soon you'll be able to do just that. That's all I'm gonna say though. I promise I'm gonna keep it tight-lipped, okay? I can't spill all the beans, but just get ready. We have even more great features in store for you all. If you haven't already gone to one of our deep dives, you need to check them out, okay? The product manager extraordinaire, Tori Meglio, leads those conversations, and she's going to be showing you how to work directly with our products, okay? If you've wanted to know how to use Track, the world's first free nonprofit CRM, make sure you go and you register for our GiveButter deep dives, okay? And then, of course, next month, if you want to hear again from me, we're going to talk about all things on how to crack the corporate code, okay? You've asked about how do I get matching gifts? How do I go to corporate sponsorships? How do I dive deep with my corporate partners? Well, this is the session that you don't want to miss, okay? You don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss this, okay? Make sure you get ready. Make sure you get logged in because it's going to be a great session with Double Donation. And that's going to be next month on March 9th, okay? So I gave you the updates. I gave you the feature drops. I gave you what's on the horizon, but now we want to dive a little bit deeper into what the whole mission is for today's session, okay? But before I dive in even deeper, I was reflecting a lot about, you know, when we come up to this new season, we're obviously thinking about what campaigns we're going to launch, how we're going to reach more donors, how we're going to reach our goals. But one thing that kept coming to me this season was pay attention to your intention. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Pay attention to your intention. intention. What are you intending for your organization this season? What are you intending for yourself this upcoming season? Everything that you accomplish, every goal that you reach, every height that you climb, it all starts with your internal intention. Are you intending to know your donors in a deeper level? Are you intending to communicate more effectively about your organization? Are you intending to create new and engaging opportunities, maybe more virtual or hybrid opportunities with your organization? All of those different things matter, because when you understand what your intention is, you'll be able to operate from that place of purpose in all of your campaigns, okay? So I want to go through 5 key steps to help you soar this spring, okay? When you're figuring out your intention, I want you to ask yourself these questions. First, I want you to check in. What worked last year? What didn't work last year? Did it bring you closer to your organization's mission or further away? What campaigns reached their goals? Not just how much money did your campaign raise. Pay attention to that. It's not about just how much money your campaign raised, but how much did your campaign actually get you close to your goal? Did you make it 50% of the way on one campaign? Did you make it 75% of the way? Did you make it 120% of the way? Pay attention, because all those different things are roadmaps and markers for you and your donor base about how to engage on a deeper level. Because at the end of the day, the only way to soar is if you have people who are lifting you up, okay? Next, analyze what is the state of your donor base. Do your donors or do your donor base, do they need some more TLC? Was the last time you communicated with them last summer or last spring? If so, that's going to impact the way that you engage with them this time around. Does that make sense? You need to understand, what is the state of my donor base? Are they a warm audience? Have they been opening up my emails? Have they been engaging with me on social media? Have they been attending other virtual events that I've been running? If not, then that's going to impact your strategy. If so, then that's going to impact your strategy as well. Okay, so pay attention to your donor base. And in 2022, understand what the best way to communicate with them as well is. Okay. Next, I want you to contextualize. Why is your campaign important? Okay, there's currently a lot of noise in the world. I don't know about you, between LinkedIn updates, social media news feeds, checking out CNN and the other news outlets, I feel like I am constantly bombarded, okay? At the beginning of the year, I always do the great purge, is what I call it. So I go through all of my emails that I'm subscribed to, and I just hit unsubscribe. This doesn't serve me anymore, unsubscribe. This is stressing me out, unsubscribe. Does anybody else feel that way? Shay says she sees the noise. Claire says me too. I see, there's a lot of things that are competing for your attention. And I want to make sure that your campaign and your organization is rising above the noise, okay? You have to remember that your donor base, they give to you for a specific reason. They are engaged with your community for a specific reason. And it is up to you all as the fundraisers and as your organizational leaders to tap into that reason and deliver that. Maybe you're the only source of hope for your donor base. Maybe you're your only source of relief for your donor base. Maybe you're the only escape for your donor base. How are you going to step into that? How are you going to understand that reason and deliver that reason to your donor base? You have to understand why your spring campaign is important for people to contribute to, okay? Make sure it's not another thing that they have to check off. Make sure it's not another thing they have to scroll through, but it's something that they're going to be able to engage with on a deep level, all right? Y'all feel me? 2 more. Plan ahead, okay? What happens after your campaign? One of my biggest pet peeves that I see with organizations is seeing that they just are just thinking about the campaign in front of them. And I understand you want to have tunnel vision. You want to think about, okay, how am I going to get these things done? Especially if you're a small team. I completely understand. But what I want you to think about is, what happens after the campaign? What's the next height you have to climb after this campaign, right? And why is that important? It's important because say you send a campaign to your donor base, okay? And maybe you get 50% of the donors to contribute and get involved in your campaign. Well, what about that other 50%? What if someone says, okay, hey, I can't contribute right now, but I want to give to your next campaign? You need to be able to have enough foresight as to what the next campaign is or what the next way for them to engage is, so you can make a little note. And guess what? If you didn't know, Track has unlimited notes. So you can go inside Track and say, okay, Denise can't donate now, but make sure you reach out to her on June 17th so that she can get involved in our next campaign. You know, you have to be able to think ahead, because maybe it isn't the right time for your donor base to get involved. But if you know what's coming next, you can deliver that to your donor base in real time. Also, it's important because you're going to be getting a lot of new email addresses. You're going to get a lot of new engagement with your upcoming spring campaign. You want to seize that engagement. You don't want to just reach out to them for this campaign and then go ghost again. No, we are trying to build a system that you can sustain, okay? You're going to try to build a system that you can sustain this spring and beyond, okay? And then last but not least is cultivation, okay? Who will be your advocates this coming year? One thing that burns fundraisers out time and time again is when it's all on your shoulders. But I want you to know, your volunteers, they want to support you. Your donors, they want to support you. Your partners, they want to support you. You just have to tell them how, okay? And it's up to you to dictate who are going to be your advocates for this spring campaign, and make sure it's not the same advocates that you use for your end of year campaigns. Try to switch it up. Try to bring more leadership and more roles to other people in different ways and in different seasons, because people want to feel like, okay, hey, this spring campaign is on me. I'm taking personal ownership, because that is how you're going to sustain what you are doing for the long run. Okay. All right, y'all. So those are my 5 tips on how to sort. Do you feel yourself taking flight? All right. Do you feel yourself getting ready to take flight? I saw you on the runway, but now y'all in first class taking off. Okay. We're going to the next level this year. All right, y'all. So I want to jump right into our spring campaign ideas. If you're ready, type "I'm ready" in the chat. If you're ready, type "I'm ready" in the chat. I love this. Shay is ready. Come on. Who else is ready? Who's ready? Let me see in the chat. Brooke is ready. Come on now. Joshua is ready. Mike says he's always ready. I love that. All right, y'all. Well, let's jump right in. So the first campaign that I want to go ahead and chat about is our friends at Teen Tix. So their campaign was called Changemakers, Teens at the Forefront. Teen Tix is a youth service organization that works to make art and culture more accessible to young people in the greater Puget Sound area. In 2021, they moved their annual fundraising event to the spring and made it virtual. Let's listen to Executive Director Monique share more.
I think I was surprised by a virtual event. It was easy. We used the team member section essentially as our table captains. So generally we have board members host tables, invite their friends to our in-person event. And we kind of did this in the same way, where we use this essentially as a peer-to-peer platform where we had our board and some other friends and supporters of Teen Tix started their own page, and then that's how they invited their friends to join the event. Some of these people I don't think actually tuned in, but still gave to their friend's event. Some of these people only created a page because they invited someone, but the person wanted to give in support of that individual. And so while they might not have wanted to host a table, they just ended up creating a page quickly so that their friend could give to Teen Tix through them or in recognition of them. We did have one of these tables act as a teen table, so kind of like where our young people could come in and group and gather. And we also created Zoom rooms in that, like I said, in that pre-Zoom happy hour, pre-show happy hour via Zoom based on these tables. And so we were basically trying to recreate the all right, we're all in that same space, but then now you go sit at your table.
Right.
People. Yeah. So like I said, some people showed up and some people didn't. So we did some merging kind of last minute, but it allowed us to kind of have a mingling experience, but then also move people into the space with their friends. And the surprising thing for me was there were some people who started their team member page way in advance, right when we launched it. And then there were some people who day of or the day before or the week of just created one and invited a bunch of people, and they showed up and or got gifts. And so I think the ease of that, because if you're in person, you have to have a head count and a food count and all of that in advance, like the ease of just being able to do it so last minute or within hours of the event didn't like hinder anything, right? It actually was just more exciting.
Loved that Monique mentioned was that the essence of having this event be last minute and have people make changes at the last minute or register at the last minute. I think that in our normal minds that might stress us out, right? In full transparency, I love what we do here, but sometimes even us, we're making changes to our thing that I'm still getting new to our virtual event platform. I'm still getting myself new. And for me, it can make me feel anxious and it can make me feel stressed. But one of the things that Monique said is that she sees that. She turned that stress into excitement. And I want to encourage you guys this spring, when you're thinking about going into a virtual event or you're thinking about making a new change, don't let it stress you out. Don't let it scare you. Let it actually make you more excited and lean into that. And with that, they actually were able to create engaging and more networking opportunities. So she mentioned that they actually used Zoom rooms to have a mingling experience before the event. So one of the things that I've seen with people who are trying to translate their events into more hybrid or virtual events is they're saying, how do we replicate, what we do in person? How do we make it feel as special as we do with, when it's in person? And the truth of the matter is, you can't replicate what you've always done before in the past. You simply can't. We're in a new season. It's a new time, but that's okay. Lean into the newness and use the newness to your advantage. Use the newness as a way. Now you can actually create, like you said, Zoom rooms. You can actually create deeper engagement opportunities for people to be able to engage for a long haul. Another thing that I loved, they used their board and supporters to start their own pages as table hosts, okay? They emphasized the peer-to-peer model and they started early. They got started very quickly. They said, okay, hey, we now know that we need to transition. How do we get these teams set up? How do we give them the tools that they need so that they can eventually move and they can actually be put into action? And then lastly, they provided tech support to the audience during the virtual event. That's going to be a big one. Obviously, if you're using technology, if you're using video, if you're using lots of different things, you're going to want to make sure that you have your tech support ready at the hand, so that way people feel like they're walking along with you. Remember, yes, you are the leader, but the core of community is that you're building together. And that is what it's all about. You want to build a robust community that can grow over time. All of that are continued ways that you can continue to soar. So let's go into our next one, okay? The next organization is New Hope for Families. And I love this campaign. They had something called a Hope-a-thon, okay? So New Hope for Families is a homeless shelter in Bloomington, Indiana, specifically for supporting families. Their mission is twofold. One, to keep families together, and then also to help families out of homelessness and back to stability. Their development assistant, Tom, shares more with us about how their 80s themed virtual telethon came about. Let's hear from him now.
Now, obviously, we couldn't bring people together in the way that we had in past years. So what are we going to do? This is really an important event in the annual life of the organization. It raises very real dollars that are very important to our operating budget. So what are we going to do? And the ideas were diverse. We've seen, obviously, a lot of organizations in our community and across the country moving to virtual galas or, events like that. We wanted to do something different. We saw this as not just a challenge, but an opportunity. And so the idea eventually came about that we would kind of pivot from doing a high ticket gala event, with formal attire and plated dinner and all of that, and do something kind of more traditional, but also more cutting edge. And so we decided we'll do a telethon. You know, that when you need to raise money fast from a lot of people, you do a telethon. And so very much in the vein of the, you know, Jerry Lewis, Shriners telethons of old, we thought, yeah, we'll stream it online, since we and really not a lot of people have access to a television studio. We're like, we'll stream it online. People can call in and make donations, or they can give online. We'll have entertainment, and we'll just do a whole big show that people can participate in from the comfort of their home, keeping in mind that, you know, the COVID protocols of the day, so people could stay home, stay safe, still participate, still feel like they were part of something larger, have an experience, show their support, and then share that with other people at the same time. So we thought, you know, the telethon idea just kind of checked all the boxes for us, but we had no experience doing a telethon. And I don't know if people really do telethons much anymore. We didn't know what to do. We got this idea, but how do we execute? And so we looked at lots of different streaming platforms. You know, we're going to use YouTube, we're going to use Facebook Live, you know, all these things. And then we remembered that our local PBS station is based here. We're a college town. We have Indiana University, a major college campus right here, from the campus of which a PBS station broadcasts. And every year they do, you know, the big PBS telethon. So we're like, hey, they're experts. They know how to do this. So let's partner with them. Let's see if they'd be willing to partner with us and help us out in this way. And the result was just heaven sent. I mean, it was really a perfect coming together.
Ring, 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 ring. That's me on my phone talking about that was amazing. Okay. They had their own virtual telethon. How innovative and exciting was that? So here are some of the things that we loved about this campaign. One, they had a gold bar, which worked so well for a telethon. First of all, people just love a gold bar. If they see that you're close to your goal, they want to just donate and help so they feel like they did something, okay? Because remember, when you win, we all win, okay? We're a community. So if someone called in to make a pledge, staff could input the donation as an offline donation, and then guess what? The gold bar goes up. And obviously, if people are making donations in real time with Venmo or PayPal or Apple Pay or Google Pay, whatever it is, as they make the donation, they could see in real time how the donation bar was going up and helping them reach their goal. They also partnered with a local publishing and broadcasting station and a freelance multimedia producer to launch the event. So one of the things that I was thinking about as I was watching this was, okay, not everybody has access to a television studio or a multimedia producer or freelance producer and whatnot, and that's okay. I get it. I understand. But my question is, what do you have? If you don't recall, Tom mentioned that they had no experience, okay? They never ran a telethon before. They didn't know what they were needed to do. They didn't know what steps they had to take. But what they did know was that they have partners that they could tap into. What they did know is they know what's actually inside of me. What can I do? What do we have access to right away that can help us amplify our mission, okay? And that is another key to SOAR, okay? Another key to SOAR is knowing that you don't have to do it on your own, okay? I'm using a lot of airplane methodology and a lot of airplane references today. But when you think about something taking flight, it's not just like the plane decided to up and go on itself. No, you need the engine, you need the pilot, you need the attendants, you need all the different things working together to reach new heights. And that is what I believe for each and every one of you. Y'all gonna reach new heights this spring. And another thing that they did was they were able to tap into corporate sponsors. They were able to reach out to their local networks, reach out to other people in their region and in their community to come alongside them to help them, again, take their campaign to the next level. If this isn't exciting to y'all, then I don't know what is, okay? All right, y'all, our third campaign. I'm so excited about this. Y'all have heard of Netflix and chill, okay? Have you heard of Knitflix and chill? Well, let me tell you, that is what this next campaign is all about. Club Knitflix started with 4 friends who wanted to learn to knit during the downtime of the pandemic-induced lockdown. But they took a hangout to raising over $20,000 during a 12-hour virtual knit-a-thon to support the Black Lives Matter movement by donating to 4 racial justice organizations. So I'm gonna stop talking so y'all can hear a little bit more.
Yeah, so we were meeting every week and we were, knitting, watching Netflix, but we were also talking a lot about what was going on in the world. And we were saying we want to help, we want to try to do something that will help Black Lives Matter, because this is something we feel strongly about, but we all, for different reasons, weren't able to go out and protest, just with family or with different situations. So I think Margaret was the one that proposed the knit-a-thon, and she was like, how about we get on like a 12-hour call and we knit and we have our family pledge money to us per hour, and that's how we'll do this. And it spiraled. It got bigger and bigger. We decided, we were like, my mom's a big knitter. She's in a bunch of Facebook groups. So we were like, oh, we'll reach out to people and see if anybody else might be interested. And slowly it became this thing where we're like, oh, it's not just us asking for money from our family. We need a place that we can have everybody donate. And that started our search for a good fundraising website, which led us to Give Better.
Also, I'll add, we're all artists, and so we didn't have a huge wealth of our own money to be able to contribute, and we really wanted to be donating at the time, which is a huge start for us. But also by June, there's so much of an influx to certain nonprofits that a bunch of places were asking other nonprofits to be sponsored or for you to donate to other ways of intersectionally helping Black and Brown lives throughout the country and world. And so we had chose 4 organizations that would help and or would facilitate different aspects of life for the community, and that was our big push, is being a holistic donation platform of one donation that would go to 4 different amazing organizations: GLITZ, the Loveland Foundation, the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund, and Disabled But Not Really.
I love this. It was started by just a group of friends. If that isn't the definition of a change maker, then I don't know what is, y'all. They just started as a group of friends who ended up doing something even bigger. And also their campaign was relevant. And that's another thing that we talked about, cutting through the noise. They were able to tap into a time and space that was incredibly relevant. They used what was happening in the world to be able to create positive change. And the event actually created a sense of urgency in its time frame. They said this is only going to be a 12-hour campaign. We didn't want it to linger. We know in this 12 hours, what can we do together? And they were able to bring their community together in a beautiful way. They showed engagement during a one set period of time in the supporter feed, as I mentioned. So when you eventually y'all are going to get all these slides, I want you to click through and actually spend some time on their campaign. See the innovative ways that they use the supporter feed to bring more things to light. And they created a mutually beneficial exchange for their peer-to-peer fundraisers, so everyone can actually get involved in the knitting. They said, hey, even if I'm not there, I can knit from my home, I can call on my friends, and that is the key. Everyone needs to understand when you're planning your next campaign, how does everyone get involved? How can I actually bring in my supporters? I've seen a lot of different people on this chat, but I'll call out Hannah Lowe specifically because I saw that she actually tapped into so many different people in her community. Hey, can you run an exercise event? Hey, can you have an event in your backyard and throw a dinner party and throw a wine event? All of those different unique things are really key to helping you take your fundraising to the next level this spring. We got 2 more, y'all. Are y'all ready? Are y'all here for it? Are y'all still want some more? I hope so. We got 2 more, okay? So the next one is called Flip It forward. This one was so exciting to watch. Oh my goodness. I actually ended up seeing a video of this campaign while I was scrolling online, and I didn't even know that it was taking place on GiveButter. So much amazing things. But the Wendy Hillard Gymnastics Foundation provides free and low-cost gymnastics and has served almost 25,000 youth since 1996. Their Flip It Forward virtual event was full of pre-recorded virtual group performances, special messages from celebrity supporters, and a live virtual dance party. I wish I knew, because y'all know I love to dance. And they were able to raise over $90,000. All right, so with no further ado, let's check it out.
I was able to connect with two very important people. Dana, who connected me with the with Karen and Frank of the Women to Women that really produced our show, and also to Max, GiveButter. And Max was just so, he was very helpful. And I found out that the GiveButter platform it's so interesting because it was so perfect for us, because this whole virtual event was like something new. We're like, and the one thing is that we do gymnastics, so we're used to performing, right? But when we have to put it all together and tape it, people think on-site fundraisers are stressful. This was stressful.
Right.
This was stressful because then we wanted to do a Zoom dance party after, and I don't think people understand it's all about the technology. Mm-hmm. It's all about the technology. Even live events. A live event will almost live and die on your technology, right? So a virtual event, for sure. So if you don't have a team of people that can hold your hand through it, and you have to trust them, and that GiveButter and Max and the whole team was just so open, because there were a lot of moving parts. We had kids, and then I was calling on my friends, and Billie Jean, can you send a message? Billie Jean King and Bart and Nadia. And it was so funny because in one way you think it's simple, but it's not. But it worked. And it was, I will say that it's all about having a team. It's all about having the trust. And it was so worth it because it's actually going to live longer than our other events, right? People can go back and they can still experience it. We still, like every week, we still get, people donating to us, which is really wonderful. So yeah, that's what makes it work.
I loved this campaign. I loved watching it. I loved looking at their videos. I loved looking at the excerpts. They were so engaging from start to finish. They weren't afraid to find ways to engage with their people in a virtual setting. They even added a dance party, like I mentioned. They added a compilation video of their gymnasts doing choreographed dance from their respective homes. And they provided uplifting moments from their gymnast community by showing past performances as well as a part of the event. As I mentioned, they had a virtual dance party to break people out of the pre-recorded event content. So some of you might be thinking, should I do the whole event pre-recorded? Should I do the whole event live? Should we have people, in Zoom rooms? Guess what? If you plan with enough advance notice, you can do a mix of both, okay? They also encourage their supporters to leave a message in the supporter feed with each donation. But one of the things that I really love that Wendy said was that sometimes it can be stressful. Like if you don't have a team helping you with your technology, it can feel overwhelming. But guess what? If you're using GiveButter, you have a team, okay? Not only is our success team and our support team always on helping our users reach support, reaching the next level, but we also have an award-winning support team, and we're getting ready to add, guess what? You heard it first, phone support as well. That's going to be launching soon. So soon, if you don't want to just chat and you want to call somebody on the phone, we're there to take your campaign to the next level as well. So you are not alone when you are on GiveButter, okay? We are marching right alongside you. So before we get to our last campaign, I want to remind you, y'all, use the Q&A if you have any questions, if you want to put something in the chat, or if you want to ask a specific question about your upcoming spring campaign, definitely use the Q&A feature and we'll go over those shortly, okay? So our last and final campaign that we're going to talk about today live is something so unique and cool, and it's called Kitchen Radio, okay? So Kitchen Radio, and I wanted to break up a little bit of the virtual event, because this was not a specific virtual event. This was a mix of in-person events. It was a mix of just regular campaigns. So if you're not planning on doing anything virtual, there's still room for you. But Kitchen Rodeo is a team of 5 New York City-based volunteers who raised over $1,000 for various charities on GiveButter in the span of just 2 months by launching a series of 30 plus pay what you can virtual cooking classes. They continue to have a series of virtual cooking classes on GiveButter as shown here. And again, when you get these slides, click through the links. You'll be able to see all the different ones that happen virtually, that happen in person, etc. Click through them and you'll see. But with no further ado, let's hear from them directly.
So my name's Frank. I've been working in technology, software development for pretty much all my career, but I also love to cook. I love to cook. I love to eat. I love going out to restaurants. And a big part of starting Kitchen Rodeo was how we can kind of give back during the pandemic, and how I can still, for myself, learn a little bit more about cooking and help others as well at the same time.
Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Betty. I used to work with Frank, and a large part of why I am involved in Kitchen Rodeo is honestly to keep working with Frank. But also we're both food lovers, and we did an event not as a part of Kitchen Rodeo, basically as a trial. Frank taught a 21-hour focaccia cooking class, and it was crazy because first of all, we didn't think anyone was going to sign up, and also didn't really know if anyone was going to enjoy it. And it was such an incredible way to create community, and to create warm and fuzzy feelings for ourselves, but also to give back to charity. And so that's kind of really what inspired us to make this like a real thing, was the desire in this kind of time of isolation and sadness to kind of bring some joy to folks, and also use that as a way to give back to the community as a whole.
I love it. As you can see, they use their unique skills to give back to their community. As I mentioned, their first ever event was just them going live on the GiveButter platform, seeing how they can raise money, and people just joining easily. So many different ways and low-level lifts that you can take to make your virtual event or your virtual campaign happen. And they also made their virtual events accessible by using custom donation amounts in the registration flows. They even offered free registration to those who were impacted by COVID-19, which they experienced actually brought people back for future events in the future where they ended up making a donation. Registration either came with a box of ingredients or a list of ingredients that people could buy. And they were able to repeat their success. So they didn't just have one campaign, they were able to repeat it over and over and over again for people to be able to engage with throughout the long haul. So I hope you guys have a lot of different ideas. I also want to show you guys some more ideas that were not necessarily virtual events. These ones actually happened in person. So we have everything from a spring drive-in movie fundraiser, an outdoor Easter egg hunt, virtual workout classes, but two of my favorite ones that I wanted to pinpoint, and again, you all will get these slides so you can click through them in the end. But one was the Downtown Women's Center in LA actually ran a virtual campaign where they encouraged supporters to donate in honor of an important woman in their life for International Women's Day. So they were able to get people to make supporters of messages in the supporter feed. They uploaded pictures of influential women in the supporter feed as well. And that was really, really unique and really went a long way. Also, Energy Capital Habitat for Humanity hosted a skate-a-thon on St. Patrick's Day, where skaters or skate teams raised funds by collecting sponsorships or donations in advance based on either a challenge goal. So, for example, we'll do 2 laps if we can raise $200 in 2 hours, or they were able to get family and friends to make a donation in the amount of their choice. So not everything has to be virtual. If you're still doing it in person or even doing a hybrid event, there are so many different opportunities for you all to take place, to utilize. Okay. And if you need support, because some of you guys may actually say, hey, I want some support, we work with the GiveButter experts community. If you go to givebutter.com/experts, you're going to see some amazing, amazing experts in our community who are here to help you reach the next level of your organization and bring your fundraising events to life, or your fundraising campaigns to life. If you're looking to expand your fundraising efforts, if you have limited staff, consider hiring one of our Give Better experts. So far, we've made over 50 referrals, which has been so exciting seeing our nonprofits in action, utilizing our Give Better experts. So again, if you're interested in that, just go to givebetter.com/expert. So we have a few minutes left. I would love to dive into some Q&A. And since I'm not as talented to be able to go to Q&A and the screen, I'm going to invite our colleague Grace to ask some of those questions. Hey, Grace.
Hello, Floyd. How's it going?
Are you inspired by these ideas or what?
I feel fresh. I feel ready to welcome spring. We've been cold. We want to get back into fundraising events and campaigns. So I feel very energized. I hope everyone feels the same way.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so what are the people asking in the chat? What's the Q&A looking like?
Yeah, we have a lot of really great questions in the Q&A. One that I'd love to kick off the Q&A with is the concern about having a spring fundraiser so soon after year-end campaign. Do you want to speak to that, time difference and comfort in asking people for another gift this spring?
That is a great question, and I totally get it. Also, you might be thinking, are my donors burnt out? Am I burnt out? Do I need a second and a pause before, starting a campaign again? But one of the things that I mentioned earlier on that I really want to emphasize here is that your donors want an opportunity to get involved. Okay, you may not have gotten all of your donors to contribute during your end of year campaign. So maybe some of the people who weren't able to give then want to give now. So giving another opportunity for donors to be able to give and get involved is going to be so essential and so key. And then also, maybe your donors want to give again. Don't block that opportunity for someone to be a blessing, is what I always say. If you don't ask, the answer will always be no. But once you ask, you're creating a pathway for someone to make change possible, okay? So create that pathway today. Don't be afraid. Open up the door for your spring campaign, okay?
Love it. Could not agree more. Our next question comes from Joshua, who I think is new to the Give Better community. So welcome, Joshua. Thanks for joining us today. Joshua asks, for those attending that are new to Give Better, where should they start to set themselves up for success on your platform?
So do you mean like admins or like fundraisers or something like that?
Let's go with starting a fundraising campaign on Give Better for the first time.
Perfect. So that is a great question. And there are so many different ways to do it. So it's so easy to get a campaign started. When you make an account on Give Better, one of the things that I love, I call them the 5 steps to success. I don't think anybody else calls them that, but I call them that because me and alliteration and numbers. Come on, Enneagram 3 over here. But anyway, with that said, we have awesome steps that once you create an account, we let you check them off, okay? So if we says, hey, upload a picture or start your first campaign or raise your first $1,000, we give you actual steps in your dashboard to hit to help you get things off to success. Another thing I would mention is our help center. Oh my goodness, our team I feel like writing help center articles is like also a part of our job, like a part-time job. Anytime something comes up, anytime somebody asks a question, we are right on there making those help center articles and help center guides that really help you get to success. And when you open up your help center guide, so again, if you go to givebetter.com and scroll to the bottom of the page and open up our help center, you'll be able to see there's even a section on getting started. You'll be able to see our top articles to help you take your campaign to the next level if you're just starting out. And then the last thing I want to mention is our blog, okay? We have templates, we have resources, we have tools, everything you can imagine. If you go to givebetter.com/blog, you'll be able to see it there as well, and dive into a lot of the resources that are going to just continue to add to your ongoing education. And then, of course, keep coming to these webinars. I love to see y'all.
Perfect. Yes, kicking off the year with a new platform. We have all the stuff to get you going, raise those funds, and spread information about your organization. So another really great question, and some things that have been discussed in the chat is, some of us are working with limited teams. Some of us can't put on these really fancy virtual events quite yet because of staff or budgeting. So can we just speak a little bit more to this? I mean, we talked about Give Better experts and just kind of like brainstorming a little bit about how to do some virtual engagement with communities, even if you don't have this massive team or budget.
100%. I love that question. So my whole career has been, up until this point, I've only worked with small teams. I led an entire webinar. I'm not sure if some of you guys remember, but it's called Small But Mighty. And it was only focused on organizations who had budgets under $1 million and how they were able to do big and great things. I really and truthfully believe that it is not about the size of your budget. It is about the size of your belief. Okay. If you believe that you can do something great, it's going to start as a seed, and that's okay. Some of the biggest trees that exist start as seeds because you got to grow your roots. Okay. You growing your roots is you tapping into your donor base. It's your donor base connecting with you and really involving themselves in their community. So I believe it starts as a seed, but more tactically, I always say start where you're at. Okay. Kitchen Rodeo raised over $80,000, and their first campaign started off with one of the founders putting up his video, making a cooking class, and the rest was history. Knitflix, you know I love me some Knitflix now. Okay, I don't even know how to knit, but that name inspires me alone. They just started off as a group of 4 people who enjoyed knitting. They went to Facebook groups. Posting in a Facebook group is free, okay? Asking someone to donate is free. Putting a video on your Facebook feed is free, okay? All these things don't require technical savvy or know-how. They don't require big teams. They don't require big budgets, but they all require belief, because if you have belief, then you're gonna put it into action, okay? And make a breakthrough. I think we have time for one more question, Grace.
One more question, you got it. So we've had a couple questions about Engage. So I think if you just want to speak a little bit to Engage a bit more, one person just wants to know generally what is it, and then another person is interested in a newsletter platform.
Wow. Ooh, that is so good. So first of all, I'm going to plug our deep dives. If I didn't mention that already in the beginning, please sign up for one of our deep dives. Every month, our product manager, Tori Meglio, dives deeper into all things GiveButter. So she's going to talk a lot more. If you go to YouTube, we just posted our feature on Engage. We did a lot of talk about Engage, but on a high level, Engage is our in-house messaging service. And I am so excited because GiveButter is truly changing the game. I'm biased. I work here. I get it. I know. But from being a person who worked in a small organization, having all these tools at your fingertips for free is truly a game changer. So you can not only send custom email messages from our platform. And I'm not going to talk about it says, some arbitrary name at givebutter.com. No, this is your domain. You're able to connect your actual domain to your website with your actual name into GiveButter. You can send custom messages, okay? We connect and integrate directly with Canva and YouTube. You can embed all these amazing features into the GiveButter Engage messaging software. But we also now have outbound SMS messages, okay? So now you can actually send custom text messages from our platform to all of your donor base and constituents, all for free. You can track the open rates, you can track the bounce rates, you can track so much more all throughout our platform, because we really want to help elevate your fundraising status and, again, bring you to the next level. It's all about going higher in 2022. So there's more for you if you go to givebutter.com and you just look at Engage. It's going to show you all the different features that we have to offer. Okay, that's a great question. All right, y'all. So I know we weren't able to answer every question, but thank you guys so much. We have a few more minutes, so if there are more questions, our team will answer them. But I want to go into some important reminders before we hop off for today. So 1, register for our upcoming webinars. I mention them all the time. I know I keep mentioning them. 1, because we love to inspire and encourage and equip you all. But also these are great resources for you. So again, our next GiveButter deep dive is happening next week with Tori, and it's all about Track, okay? So if you want to learn more about our in-house CRM, definitely you don't want to miss it. And then also next month is all about cracking the corporate code. Okay, if you want to learn how to get some more corporate sponsorships, if you want to learn a little bit more about how to, break into that field and mobilize your corporate partners, you do not want to miss that. Fill out our webinar feedback survey. I am so grateful for you guys all. I'm so grateful for all of your comments. Fill out that survey though. Let us know what other topics you want to hear about. Let us know what other things you're enjoying. Let us know what you learned so we can continue to make these a great space for you guys to learn and grow and, of course, flourish. And then join our Facebook fam, okay? We always want to know. We always want you to be in our community. We want to continue to check in with you, chat with you, and just continue to reach new heights together, okay? So make sure you join that Facebook fam if you're not in it. With no further ado, y'all, that is all I got, okay? So I am so grateful that you were able to spend time with us. I'm so grateful that I was able to hear your questions and answer your questions. And of course, I hope that all these different things will help you all soar into spring. Have a good one, y'all. Thank you.
You turned this from an idea in a dorm room into the #1 rated fundraising platform on the internet.
You raised over $100 million for charitable causes just in the last year.
You are making the world a better place, one gift at a time.